Hey, I made it. Happy Saturday, y'all. It's 12:02 and we are here. We live. We are live. Just want to get over here to Facebook so I can see the comments. I pray that y'all Saturday is super duper productive. And if you come in here on the replay situation, I will need for you to make sure if you're on my replay squad, I want you to make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube at Coach Tuka. Subscribe. Hey, Kimberly Renee. Subscribe so that when I go live, you will get the notification. Hey, Mr. All right, y'all, listen. This is what we're talking about today. This is what the Lord gave me. This is what the Lord gave me today to talk about. I was thinking about this concept of being normal and decided I wanted to approach this from the angle of normal and average being the same thing. But I think when we say average or any of the other synonyms for normal, there's a negative connotation. All right. So I want to look up these words for you because I'm a big lover of words. So I need to look these up. All right. Because I believe that, hey, all right, that we are accustomed as we do life every day to doing what is the normal thing to do. Meaning, when we look around us and we see what this person is doing and what appears to be normal behavior, we are more inclined to do that. We're inclined to do that because it's what's happening and it's what we see. And it's usually how we make our decisions, all right? I want to give you the definition for normal, and then I want to show you why we should eliminate that and we should be okay being not normal, all right? I taught high school and I taught sixth grade for 1 year. Y'all, I taught sixth grade. Follow me, 1 year. And I was like, this is not my age group. Sixth graders are not for me. They are a whole, if you are a middle school teacher, you are the real MVP. Hat off to you. Hats off to you because I cannot do sixth grade. Did it 1 year and went right back to the ninth grade. That's my sweet spot. I love that age group of kids. So what I noticed about kids in that age group though, and really like most kids, they will do anything. Like being outside of the norm is like a big deal. Like they will do anything to be normal. They don't want to be anywhere outside of it. It's a rare kid that wants to be outside of what's the standard or what's the norm. And I feel like as adults, we do the same thing. All right. We do not want to color outside the lines or be the person who's different or who does things in a different way. So when I looked up the word normal, we're going to dig into this. Normal means conforming to a standard, usual, typical, or expected. Some of the synonyms are unexceptional, simple, homely. I ain't make this up, y'all. This straight off the Oxford Languages Dictionary. Okay. Accustomed, expected, typical, usual. All right. The opposite is unusual and abnormal. So what's funny to me is that the words that are the opposite of normal, when we think about it, if someone were to call you that abnormal or unusual, we would not take kindly to that. That's not a word that we would be proud to hear somebody say about us, that I'm abnormal, right? So this is what I want to talk to you about. God don't want you to be normal. We're not supposed to be normal, y'all. So I want you to get used to and accustomed to being labeled and seen as abnormal and unusual. All right. I want that to be something that becomes comfortable for you because it's God's desire for us. All right. Now I got to pull out my Bible. I got to see. I thought I was going to go on my phone. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I was going to use my phone, but I guess I got to use my physical Bible because I'm on Facebook on my phone. All right. I want to tell you how I know this. Okay. I don't remember the scriptures by heart, but I wrote them down. This is how I know that God doesn't want us to be normal. Romans, go with me, family. Romans 2, chapter 12, verse 2. I need to probably do this on my computer because it'll be quicker. All right. 12, verse 2, which says, don't copy the behaviors and customs of this world. I ain't say it, God said. But let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. All right. And then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Okay. So that's God. I said, don't be accustomed to doing things the way the world does or the way you see it done around you. The standard is God's way. All right. The next one, I'm gonna have to look these up, y'all, because it will be faster. The next one is Philippians 2:5. Chapter 2, verse 5, which says, this is much faster. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, which basically says we need to think like Jesus thought. You must have the same attitude that Christ Jesus had. And I don't think that nothing Jesus thought was abnormal. I mean, I don't think nothing he thought normal. He had a different way of thinking. He didn't have a usual or unremarkable or unexceptional way of thinking. All right. So that's the other one. I got 5 of them. So I'm going to run them real quick because I want to tell you how to get out of this. All right. As soon as I go through it. But I just want you to know I'm not making it up. In 1 Peter 2:9, it says, you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his possession, so that you may proclaim the praises of the one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Which essentially says that we are people who are set apart. We are set apart. We're chosen, set apart people. We set apart. So we shouldn't be trying to do everything that everybody else does. When you are set apart, you are unusual. You're different. You're not the norm. All right, Jeremiah 1:5, because I formed you in the womb, I knew you before you were born, I sanctified you, I ordained you a prophet to the nations. He's basically saying, listen, I knew who you were before you got here. I had plans for you already in advance, all right? And they weren't normal or average, all right? So when you choose normal, it's outside of the plans that God has for you. And then the last one was Ephesians 2:10. I'm sorry, y'all. Ephesians 2:10, which says, we are God's handiwork. So God took the time to like craft you. It says we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, for which God prepared in advance for us to do. All right. So if you handiwork, that means somebody took the time with their hands to craft you in a unique way. And it would never be to do anything abnormal. All right. So I wanted to say that because I want y'all to know, like, this is not a matter of opinion. I didn't say it. Okay. So now this is what I want you to know, that God created each of us with a specific plan and a specific set of gifts and things that we're supposed to do. The first thing that behaving in a normal way causes us to do is kind of look around and look at what someone else is doing. And if they are operating based on what God called them to do, and it's not what God called you to do, then it's still not what I should be doing, right? So I should always be considering what God wants me to do in every decision that I make, all right? So how do you get out of being normal? Because for one, as humans, we want to be comfortable. So how do we get out of doing the normal thing? How do we get more comfortable being seen as abnormal and unusual? All right. First of all you got to do is look at the people around you, what the normal people do, right? What normally would happen, what the world would choose, and then you just make a better decision. You elevate your decision by saying, what would God want me to do? It's just that simple. All right. So whatever's happening in the environment around you, rather than being accustomed to just acting out of this habit of conforming or repeating what you see happening around you, that's normal. Observe it and say, that's the way the world will do it. And then you just elevate the decision by figuring out what God wants you to do. All right. So think about what normal people do and you make a better decision. All right. The next thing I need you to do is to learn to be resilient. All right. A lot of times, and this is what I teach in Ready, Set, Habits. A lot of times we try something and we're not good at it. And we're like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Right. And we give up. We don't persevere. and we're not resilient, we don't have that bounce back. You have to learn that you're not going to hit a home run. You're going to be terrible at first. I was reading this book called The YouTube Formula. I haven't finished it, but I read like the first chapter. And he starts the book by saying, you're going to suck. Your videos are basically going to suck. And I was like, whoa. And the point of him telling you that is that you're not going to just wake up and hit a home run on your first hit. That's not going to happen. The videos are going to be whack. And then you're going to grow and develop yourself. And you're going to get better. You're going to be resilient enough to keep trying and to push through when it's difficult, or you could choose to do something different, and you're going to be committed to getting better. All right. So the same for you. When you decide that you're not willing to do what you see happening in the world around you, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel like the odd person out. What I want you to know is there are other people out there who are like you, but you have to develop yourself into the type of person that they will find attractive. All right. So when you start creating a new normal, all right, then you won't feel so abnormal, right? And that what was once normal to you will then become abnormal. Okay. There were some things I used to do in my 20s that if I tried to do them today, it would feel really uncomfortable. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to let y'all into some of my business. Okay. In college, we went out, we would go out. So I remember one of our family, it's been some years ago, probably about 10 years ago, my husband and I, somebody we knew was having a birthday party at this, like, I don't know, kind of club spot. And we went to the birthday party. So we got to the birthday party. And I think from the moment we walked in, we were ready to go. It just felt so like there was a season in our lives where that would have been so much fun. We would have had a great time. But that night, we were just like, we didn't know none of the dances. We didn't know none of the music. We were just like, so we did the appropriate thing, since we were there, and we stayed for an appropriate amount of time. But it wasn't long before we kind of looking at each other like, you ready to go? And I'm like, I'm ready to go. All right. And so what I'm saying is there was a season in our lives where that was the normal thing to do. If you from Jackson, Mississippi, I used to go to Free Line in my 20s every Thursday for ladies' night. Every Thursday, on time. Every Thursday. And that was the norm. All right. But now that's something because I have chosen to create a new normal. Now that's something that doing that, it would seem abnormal to me to even try to do that again. Like that's just not my idea of a good time anymore. It was, for that season, it was okay. It would just be, what am I even doing in this season of my life? All right. So what I'm saying is, you can, by deciding that I'm going to get better, right? That's the goal. You wake up every day and you say, and this is what most people don't do. Most of us don't have a strategy in place or a plan for how we're going to elevate. If we create the plan, we don't hold ourselves accountable or allow somebody to hold us accountable until we can do it, right? But if you do, if you resolve, I'm going to get more resilient. We talk about this all the time in the Success Squad. You might plan a day. You're thinking today's going to go just like this. I've never had a day go the way I planned it. But guess what I do? Wake up every day. I'm going to be better today than I was yesterday. I'm going to do the very best I can to fight through every obstacle that comes my way. Whatever tries to set me back, I'm hopping back up and I'm going to keep it moving. All right? That's the plan every day. When I started, we've grown into this season. When I started my coaching program, I use a platform called Kajabi. Y'all, when I got in Kajabi, I thought it was going to be a quick switcheroo. I was using one platform and I switched over to another platform. And when I got over to this new platform, the learning curve was much more than I anticipated. I could have said, you know what, I'm going to go back to the platform that I was using that was much simpler, and it worked. I could have done that. But I said, no, I'm going to dig in here. So now I'm all the way in. So much so that I had to design another program for another community that I manage. And it was easy. It was a breeze. It was a whole different platform. It wasn't the platform that I had used, but because I put those hours in and I was resilient and I persevered when I could have quit, then I got onto this new platform and I was like, oh, this looks familiar to me. Boom, 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 boom. And I put that thing together quicker than I could have ever imagined. So the point that I'm trying to make is you have to give yourself the space and the place to get better. So a lot of times, this is what we'll do. We have this normal, exposure, or this normal environment around us, or this situation, or something. This is the way our life is going. We look around and we say, you know what? I don't like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want my life to be like this anymore. And then we make a resolve. We say, you know what? I'm going to get better. I am going to insert whatever you have told yourself. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to leave my job. I'm going to, improve my relationships. I'm going to get married. I'm going to improve my marriage. I'm going to be a better parent. All these things that we, attempt to do to make this our life a thriving one. All right. You start off solid, maybe 2 solid weeks you in. All right, you in. And then boom, some obstacle comes. And then you're like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I don't need to work on it right now. Maybe the way my life is right now is not so bad. I mean, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not as bad as so-and-so, right? So we start having all these excuses to settle. All right. But when you say this is how you're going to move from normal, average, mediocre, not my words, to unusual, right? Fulfilled, thriving, this is how you're going to move. It's at that point when you have the option to decide to stay where you are and do nothing more, and you decide to push through and you're resilient and you persevere, it's at that point that you get better. It's at that point. And when you keep doing it, you're going to continue to get better. But the problem is this. We got Instagram, we got all this social media, and I love social media. I believe it's a tool, all right? For me, being able to come on here and talk to you guys, it makes the world smaller to me. Without these platforms, we would be able to have these conversations, right? But what social media does is gives us a window into other people's lives. So we were talking about this yesterday in the Success Squad. I'm sorry, they're my life, okay? I talked to them every day. We were talking yesterday, and they were talking about how you see something on social media and you're like, I want this, right? And you create this almost like constant desire for more things. And these things can become like an idol of sorts. So I talked about like back in the day, if I would have been a homeowner, unless I had gone to somebody's house or spent some time in their house, you would have no idea. Maybe see a picture. You really wouldn't know what somebody's, let's say, their living room looks like, right? But now we have almost like this window into the lives of other people. So you're on social media, and if it might be an ad where you're like, oh, I wish I had a couch like that. Oh my God, I love that TV. Oh, that's so nice. People are, taking pictures. We looking in the background of people's pictures, and we're like, oh, I like that mirror. That's nice, right? We get this kind of window into other people's lives. What we forget, though, is those are the portions of their lives that they have chosen to show us, right? So we mistake what we're seeing on the social for their real life and think we really know these people. And we start desiring and wanting what they have, right? I submit to you, you just stay focused on what God told you was for you, all right? Be grateful for what you have, all right? So I don't know how I got there. I don't even know how I got over on that left side. But that's number 2. Learn to be resilient, persevere, and just focus on getting better. Make your focus on getting better every day. So I believe in everyday excellence, not everyday perfection. So understand that you're not going to do it perfect every day. That's my point. You're not going to do it perfect every single day. All right? You're going to make mistakes every day. But tomorrow, I'm going to work on getting better tomorrow than I was today. All right? It's always about getting better. Everyday excellence and not everyday perfection. All right? So that's number 2. Learn to be resilient, persevere, get better. Number 1 was think about what the normal people do and you just do better. You just do better. Seriously, make a better decision. And the better decision is going to be the God's decision. So for me, it's what the word says. I go to the word, and these are my script. This is why I can pull these scriptures so quickly, because I have battle scriptures for different seasons. All right? Because what I share with my people is this. You don't wait until the obstacle come and then say, okay, let me go to my word and see if I can get a word from God. No, baby, you got to know the enemy got the same tricks. He typically tempts you in the same areas. He usually makes you fall back in the same ways. So knowing you, evaluating who you are, and deciding this is the word I'm going to go to when this happens. So when this happens, I'm going here. And you decide in advance, you predetermine what the scripture's going to be, it's going to help you. So don't wait till the house on fire to go buy a fire extinguisher. Be ready. Have your fire plan before. All right. So that's number 1. Think about what normal people do better. Number 2, get better. By being resilient and persevering and just resolving that, you're going to be excellent every day. Number 3, get a new normal. All right, y'all, we can have an honest conversation. The people that we spend our time with, and when I say normal, I'm talking about the things you do, the decisions you make on the course of a day-to-day basis, the words you speak, the music you listen to, television you watch, and mostly the people that you're around. You are going to have to make a decision to get a new normal. You're going to have to take yourself out of this normal environment that you're used to, and you're going to have to move yourself somewhere else. So you can do that through your habits and your routines, the conversations that you have, the things you choose to look at, the things you choose to listen to. All right. And you start putting yourself in a different place. All right. So as it relates to people, this is the quickest hack that I can give you. Put yourself around people whose normal decisions are just better. All right. There are a group of people that I spend my time with. We actually do life together. And I noticed the last time that we were together that these conversations just different. Like when we together, this particular group of people, the things we talking about, just different. Just different. All right. Now, the version of me that was going to freelance every Thursday, if I had somehow had the opportunity to be in the same space with these same people, that would have been extremely uncomfortable for me. And then what I would have had to do is to grow and get better, right? So success is extremely contagious. When you get around a group of people who are winning, it makes you, yes, Sam, I'm talking high level conversations. They ain't talking like the barbecue. The stuff they talking about, you need a notebook. And I never leave the presence of this group of people without something that develops me. The last time we were together is how I got a YouTube channel. The time before that, it was how I was, somebody told me, this is how I got better with my emotional management. And see, that's a whole nother conversation because once you get in these spaces, you have to be open and allow people to be honest with you. And the honesty don't always feel good. So I was told that my emotions would affect my ability to lead well. And so I had to learn to manage my emotions. So my emotions are a gift. The way I care for people is next level. I'm telling you, when you give me, you get a lot. So this is why when people choose to leave my life, I let them go. And I don't mean let them go. I just let them choose to be where they want to be. And if it's not with me, I'm okay with that as well. Because I'm clear that when you get a person in your life like me, you're getting a whole lot. So to know that the fact that I am not controlling my emotions in a way that will allow me to be a good leader made me come home and do some work. It made me come home and go to work. Okay? So all I'm saying is this: put yourself in the room around some people whose normal decisions, the things they do just naturally and normally, their normal is just better. All right? You're going to have you a success squad. And maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. You're going to have you a success squad. You're going to have a group of people that you can be, and this ain't everybody. These conversations that you can't take out in the world and talk to everybody about, you have to have a group of people who can be honest with you, who can check you when you need to be checked, pick you up when you need to be picked up, love on you when you need to be loved on, and push you where you need to be pushed. You're going to have to get, and they still handling their business. All right? You're going to have to get a success squad. You have to make a new normal. The normal that what you see on a day-to-day basis, what you're looking at, talking about, hearing, you're going to have to change it. You're going to have to change it. All right? And success is contagious. I guarantee you, if you just get you 5 high quality, I'll say 5. And they don't have to be all in the same circle. All right? They don't have to be all in the same circle, but you need about 5 high quality people that you can look at and say, these are the group of people. I really say about 3. 3 is okay, 3 to 5. All right. But who are you spending your time with? What are they talking about? What are they reading? Are they reading? Do they have goals? What are their goals? Do they work on them every day? Do they let people hold them accountable? Can you tell them the truth? Can they manage their emotions? Can they manage their finances? Can they manage themselves? Can they manage their families? Okay. And you have to start having honest conversations and saying, this person represents what I would like to have in life. And then you just come alongside them and you just watch how they work and you pick up the parts that will elevate your life. I'm not telling you to go be a carbon copy of nobody, but I'm saying that is how you learn. You admire somebody's journey. You admire someone's excellence. All right. It is nothing wrong with admiring people's excellence and saying, "Oh, baby, that sister right there, she got it together." And now I don't know what her marriage look like, because none of us have like every single area of our life on point. None of us. All right. All of us got some work to do in some area of our lives. And that's what we do in Ready, Set, Habits. We look at the areas of our lives that need some attention and we set some goals around that and we hold each other accountable. That's literally what we do every day. We change our habits one habit at a time. We're constantly working on getting better. All right. So nobody that you meet or encounter or you spend time with is going to have, they got an area that needs some attention too. But those areas that they are certified winning it, if it's business, if they are like, I have people I know people who have like specialized expertise. Like in this particular area of what they do, you can't touch them. If I have a question about that area, I'm going to them. That I can run to these people and say, hey, you know what you're doing as it relates to this. Help me understand this. You should have one of those areas as well. All right. So you're going to have to get a new normal. I mean, that's going to involve you putting yourself around some people whose normal decisions are just better. You're going to need a success squad because you're going to catch the success going to fall on you. You're going to become better. All right. The next thing I need you to do, so that's number 4, get a new normal. That's everything you're seeing every day. Just elevate the normal. What is normal? Get clear on your purpose and your calling. If you are a believer, if you're not, I'm not talking to you, but if you are a believer, you know that God created all of us for a purpose. This is what I need you to understand. And we know this on some level. Hey, Gloria, we know this on some level. God has a plan for how this life and this world is supposed to go. All right. He created us as part of the plan. All right. So what he said in essence, when he took the time to craft us as the masterpiece that he did, he said, I need Tanisha to do this as part of my plan. All right. This is what I want Tanisha, this is her role in my plan. You got to work to get clear on that. What was the purpose of God creating you? What did he call? That's what I mean when I say, what did he call you to do? Because he created you for something, and then he gave you the equipment to do it. Yeah, I heard somebody say they want to do a 24-hour podcast. I started to say I could do that in my sleep. But there are things about me. If my aunt jumped on last night, she could tell you, the person you see before you, I was literally this when I was 2. I was literally this when I was 2. I refined this some, but I've always been curious. I've always had questions. I never thought that just because y'all was grown, y'all know everything. I needed to know for me. And then I shared everything I knew. So I'm still that way. The teacher in me, if I learn, I teach. As I get better, I help other people get better. It's literally who I am. I was created to educate. I'm an eternal educator. So if I learn, I'm teaching wherever I go. I am naturally enthusiastic. All right. I naturally know I'm a rule follower and I know how to create plans. So my calling is to show up every day as an enthusiastic leader. I've always been the orchestrator of things. So my calling is to show up every day as an enthusiastic leader who helps other people by showing them how to create a strategic plan so that they can win. That's my life's mission. And I wake up and I do it every day. Now, how it looks when you do it, you have to be able to say. So I was doing it when I was a teacher. All right. But God showed me you don't have to do that in the classroom. You can do it over here in your own coaching program. You can do it at your church, but do it every day. Do it every day. is literally what I'm doing now. I'm showing up now to enthusiastically show you how to create a plan to win. Stop being normal. This is what we're talking about today. So once you get clear on what God created you to do and you start to work on it every day, it eliminates what everybody else is doing. It eliminates that conformity that will make you fall into normal. It eliminates it. Because when I see other people doing other things, that's not what I'm called to do, and I'm clear about it. So I had to get clear on it, and it took work. I had to get, first of all, I had to take the appropriate DISC assessment because I've taken it so many times. I had to take it. I did a consult with my coach, and then I studied it. A 73-page document about me. I added that to my spiritual gifts, and I added that to the Word of God. And that's how I got clear. And that's why can't nobody tell me what I know. It doesn't change. This is literally who I am and who I have been for the last 46 years. So what I'm saying is you have to get yourself in a position where you can work, you can understand why God created you. What were you created to do? What did he call you to do? And you have to do that every day. So you have to get some clarity around it. And if you need clarity, I can help. Let me give you a word. You can comment, let me see, ready. And I will connect with you and show you how I can help. All right? But the point is you have to get, however you choose to do it, you have to get clear. And if it lines up with the word, you get up and you do that thing every day because that's what God created you to do. You do nothing else. So there's certain business endeavors that people ask me to get involved in, and I filter it through what God called me to do. And doesn't mean I won't do some things just to see how it goes, maybe. But I'm not going to wake up and do it every day and give everything that's in me to it. That I will. So every single day, there's not a day of my life that I don't do it. And that becomes your new normal. All right. So this is how you make it your new normal. You get so clear on what God calls you to do because it makes you say no to things that are not aligned with what God wants for you. And you do that every day. And now it's a different normal. Okay. So that's number 4. Work to get clear on your purpose and your calling and do it every single day. That's it. But every single day. That's what we mean. We say everyday excellence, not Monday, Wednesday, Friday excellence. Everyday excellence. Now, does that mean you won't miss a day? We're not perfect. So you might. But the goal is every day. Okay. The goal is every day. The bar, the norm, the standard, every day. All right. Yes. So I'm very clear. That's why God created me. All right. Even when I was in the classroom, y'all listen. When I was in high school, I went to a high school. I felt overlooked. I felt I was not. How do I say this? I was not the normal student in the population. Okay. I was already. I feel like school was not probably the best place to foster the part of me. Thank you, Miss Annette. Yeah. So school. I mean, I'm talking. I like to talk. I'm easily distracted. It just I question things. And I'm verbal. I'm very verbal. I got a lot of questions about stuff, right? And school just typically doesn't foster that in children. Okay. So if you have a child that has these qualities, a lot of times when they go to school, you're gonna have to learn how to turn them down a little bit to be able to function. So I felt overlooked a lot. I had this one teacher named Mr. Kemper. And I remember, I got so many stories. I remember feeling like I was going down to the principal's office. The principal's name was Mr. Who's this? Is that Jamie? So I was a beautiful soul in school. Thank you, Mr. Burkhart. Jamie knows these people. So Mr. Burkhart, I was being called to the office for something I know I didn't do, and I already had my attitude speech together. I already knew how many degrees I was going to roll my neck and what I was going to do with my fingers and let this man know, you called me down here for nothing, and I didn't do it. And Mr. Kemper sat me down. He was my psychology teacher. He actually, hey, Jamie, Jamie is my friend. We've been friends since 7th grade, so she knows these people, okay? So Mr. Kemper sat me down, and he started talking to me. That had really never happened with any of my teachers in my school. I felt extremely overlooked, misunderstood, and I just felt like they don't really care about us, okay? But Mr. Kemper sat me down, and he said, first of all, you got to work on your approach. Like all of this ain't gonna fare well when you get down there. He's like, when you get down there, it's not gonna go well. He's like, and he basically said, you didn't do it. Sometimes being in a particular environment can give the impression you did something that you didn't. However it goes, you go down there, you walk upright, you receive. If you get a punishment, he said, he basically was saying, like, consider it like there were times that you did some things you got away with, and just it's a swap, it's an even swap. But don't go down there going off on the people. It's just gonna make the situation worse. And I promise you, like, that opened up a door. Yeah, it opened up a door for me where I was like, one, this person cares about me. And two, he really gave me like life lessons, that wasn't in the curriculum. So when I became a teacher, I wanted to be that for my students. So it's like, yeah, I taught social studies, but I'm teaching you life too. And I had to be very intentional because it's very easy when you got 100, like at one school I taught, in a year, you can have 150 kids, on your roster. Easy. And so it's easy to overlook somebody. So I always try to make sure I saw each child as an individual because that's my calling. That's what I'm called to do. So I've always been that way. I just never knew the words to define it in a clear way where I can say as an adult now, oh, I'm willing to do this and I'm not going to do that. But what I'm saying is once you get clear on the reason that God created you and you work on it every day and you just resolve, I'm going to get better. I'm going to be resilient. I'm not going to be perfect. Like, my first year teaching don't look nothing like my team. My first year teaching, I apologize to everybody I taught in 2011. I apologize. Okay? Because I was like, this is my room. I run it. You will do what I say do. It wasn't until the third grade that I was like, I'm in my third year teaching. And I was kind of like, you know what? I think we share this space. So, okay, how can we share this space? But the first 2 years, it was Miss James' room and you do Miss James' set. Okay? So anyway, I'm saying all this long talk just to say, get clear on why God created you. And if you're not clear, these are some things I told you that help me. Holy Bible, like the Word of God, like whatever God says about you, that's what you want to believe about you. Period. I took a spiritual gifts assessment, which shared with me that my spiritual gifts were shepherding. What was my other one? Teaching and exhortation. Exhortation, just encouragement. All right. I thought shepherding was wrong. I said this test is broken, but then I studied the word around shepherding, and I was like, oh, I'm absolutely a shepherd. I'm absolutely a shepherd. All right, and God can trust me. I thought a shepherd I thought people who had that gift. See, it was my misconception. I thought that was like reserved for pastors, and I'm like, I'm nobody's pastor. But no, what I do is guide God's people, for sure. All that, and then exhortation, just encouragement. Okay. So that was a good one. You can comment. What I tell you how to comment? I didn't get the word. Don't comment because then I'm gonna see you something. What was the word? Oh goodness. Ready? I think I said ready. Okay. Comment ready. And if you need it, I'll send you the link for the spiritual gifts assessment. It's free. And I can also send you the link for how to do a disc assessment with me. All right. So number 5, this is our last one. Stop wasting time. Stop wasting time. All right. So yesterday we talked about being careful what we give our yeses to. And we said our yeses matter and our no's should be absolute no. When you understand this life is shorter than you could ever imagine, it's going to be over in a blink of an eye. We don't have the time that we think we have. So this is why knowing where to put your yeses in the appropriate places and really mean your yeses is so doggone important. You do not have the time that you think to give your yeses to things that don't matter. So you got to stop wasting time. It's a matter of urgency. You got to get some fire under your butt. All right. And not in a rush, haphazard way, but in a Jesus-like way. Jesus was standing on business. Okay. He was going around performing miracles. He still had time to pray, lead the disciples, show them how to, preach his word and pray and all this. He was getting things done. He's a very efficient and productive person without rushing. So what I'm saying is be mindful of what you give your time to because you think that you have more time than you really do. And one of these days, there will be no more time. One of these days, there will be no more time. One of these days, there will be no more time. That's it. All right. And we don't know what day that is, but we got to work every day. Like one of these days, there will be no more time. So I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll do it in the spring. I'll do it when my kids get older. Stop it. Stop wasting time. Stop giving everybody your yeses. People who wouldn't give you a yes, and I'm not even going to touch that today. Stop giving everybody yeses. Stop giving everything yes. Stop giving Instagram yeses. Stop giving Netflix yeses. There were two things that I saw. And I know it's easy. There were two things. I'm on social. I'm on social a lot. Because I got to create content. I have an Instagram coach. I'm always looking at numbers. I get on there and I get distracted too. I saw something, and I don't know if you saw it, don't tell me. Okay, something about somebody saying, who did I marry? A 50-part TikTok series. And there was the humanist in me was like, I don't know what they talking about. But then the part of me that's clear on what I'm supposed to do and where my yeses go was like, I wish you would find out. I wish you would get on a platform that don't already get your time. I wish you would get on this platform and find out what these people are talking about. And then there was some Tyler Perry movie, I think, on Netflix. Not saying I won't never watch it, but as I was scrolling, they said, y'all got to check out. Somebody said it was a waste of time, and somebody said it was good. Y'all got to check it out. And Holy Spirit said to me, I wish you would. I wish you would go figure it out. I wish you would go find out what they're talking about. All right? Because I don't have time in this season of my life. Now, that's not to say, I don't know, on a Sunday, I watched the Monique interview, and I could do a whole... I watched the Monique interview. Yeah, it took me a week to dissect this thing, and I got a whole lot to say around it. I don't know if I'll say it here, but I got a lot to say because I heard Monique thank the universe like 1,945, 50 times. I heard Monique ask Tyler Perry for forgiveness a whole lot of times. She wanted a public apology from this man. All right? And I just the whole time was like, why she just don't do like Cat and go make her own stages. Cat didn't wait for nobody to put him on. He do his own stuff. Go do your own stuff. You fussing about a thank you that for years you haven't gotten and you may never get. That's my lesson. And the thanks goes to the universe. So you may never get it, the peace you're looking for. So you're living in a personal hell. Because it's the universe. I'm done. I hear y'all. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to say, yeah, that's it. Stop wasting time. The day's gonna come, you're not gonna have time. You're gonna run out of time. There will be no more time. There'll be a million things that you wish you still had the time to do. And you have the time now. So that's no to a lot of things. There was a season in my life. Yeah, there was a season in my life where I wanted to know like what everybody was talking about. So I would want to know, like, let me go watch this, whatever Netflix thing they're talking about. I just saw Tyler Perry in Netflix. Yeah, Jamie said I kept scrolling. Then I saw a video on YouTube about that saying, who did I marry? I'm so glad God said, keep moving. Holy Spirit was like, girl, I wish you would go figure it out. You do not have time. You don't have to. What is it going to do for me? It was the 50 parts for me. Sound long, sound like a big investment, but something I don't think gonna do anything for me. So I don't have the time. Okay, I don't. All right, so stop wasting time, y'all. Develop a sense of urgency. That doesn't mean you don't take rest days or days off. Actually, it's required. I think a lot of things we're trying to do in our own strength. We're looking at what the ways of what the world is doing. And we're trying to create that in our own lives, in our own strength. And it has nothing to do with what God called us to do. So if you sprinkle a little more God in there and help him let you make your decisions, you're welcome, Jamie. If you help God let you know what it is that you need to do, and it's not the things you're seeing in the world, it's not watching what everybody else is watching, it's not doing what everybody else is doing. It looks abnormal. They will think you're unusual. They will. They're probably going to tell you that. They're probably going to say you acting different. And you should. Hey, Niecy. Oh, my auntie here, y'all. Here, we're going to start this party. Niecy, okay, my auntie, okay. Some people on Instagram and some people on YouTube. My auntie's on Facebook. Auntie, can you tell the people what kind of kid I was? Tell them what I was like as a kid. I'm not going to say nothing, y'all. She didn't hear the first part. All right, Sam. Yeah, so anyway, y'all, I'm just saying, there'll be no more time. Just stop letting stuff knock you off your pivot. Like, life is not easy, but if you get better, if you just continually work on getting better, being better tomorrow than you were today, you'll be able to handle a lot of these things differently because you have new and improved equipment. You have new and improved equipment to do it. All right. And you won't always get knocked off your pivot. I'm waiting on my auntie. She might not respond in time. I might close for my auntie. Anyway, the point is this in a little body and a smaller face. This. All right, y'all. Listen, I love you guys all the way to life. I will be here tomorrow. I cannot give a time because I go to church and I'm on the serve team. So I'm there for 2 services, allegedly. I'm very late to one, and I'm there for the second one. So I'm usually at church for multiple hours. So and I have a meeting at 3. So maybe I'll do it in the evening. Y'all don't lock me in. I can't be locked in, but let's say 6 Eastern. My auntie said this little girl wanted the kids to watch CNN. See, I told you I always value information, and we always gonna be learning. We gonna be learning. Yeah. So I'm just saying, yeah, don't be like everybody else. You are unusual, Sam, and we are abnormal, and it is okay. So I want you to go out there and be abnormal and unusual on purpose. And be okay with it. All right. Make the people call you abnormal. Make the people call you unusual. Normal is an insult. She said I knew all of my information when my granddaddy took me to the doctor. He ain't know nothing. All right, listen, y'all have an amazing weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna say 6 p.m. Central. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna do my very best, 6 p.m. Central. Okay, but if I don't, I'm coming. I'm coming. I gotta get out of church and I got that meeting. Stuff happens between church and that meeting, so I don't know. All right. I love y'all in life. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And y'all have an amazing, amazing weekend. Go be unusual and abnormal on purpose.